people.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
We should have done this before when we had a few hundred here.
Exactly, yeah. I'm Michael Molenda, the editor-in-chief of Guitar Player magazine. You know who this is, NUNO Bettencourt. Let's hear it for him.
Keep it down, keep it down.
So Nuno's been one of those people who's been an incredibly gracious person throughout his career. It's awesome. He's helped our readers in the guitar community out immensely by sharing knowledge, by being a kick-ass player in his own right, obviously. But I think the sharing thing is something that doesn't happen a lot. So do you have an educational background or something? How come you're so awesome to all of us?
I went to awesome school at an early age.
Okay, well that's good. I'm also, how you, your relationship with your signature guitar, back to when you were looking on developing that, what was it about the guitars you were using at the time that wasn't giving you what you needed to do your thing?
Truth is I couldn't afford those guitars.
Ah, really?
So I went to a music store. I forget, back then it was called Wurlitzer in Boston. Sometimes. Keep walking. I couldn't afford a guitar, so I bought parts. And I couldn't afford paint, that's why the guitars were made just with wood. So it was the cheap way around everything.
And then once you got into it and Washburn kind of jumped in and said, okay, we're going to help you with this, what kind of things were you looking for, on a nerdy level? Like, did you like certain, radiuses or certain tools or whatever?
No, I'm actually pretty much a complete idiot when it comes to the technical side of guitars. And I just built the one I liked, and then they reached out to me and asked me if I would endorse them, but they wanted me to endorse one of their guitars, and I said no. Politely, of course. And I said, if you send my mom a certain amount of money every month to cover the rent, I will work with you. True story. And no, then they just, Stevens Cutaway came in, and that was amazing, and then we kind of combined and made this guitar that I'm still playing. I still can't afford a guitar with paint, still, till this day.
Well, and have any refinements throughout the years worth mentioning, or did you pretty much nail it the first time?
I think it's been, I think the first ones were the best. I think they still, we're actually, we have a model that's coming out that's kind of trying to go back to the beginning of when they were first made to capture exactly the one that I'm still playing, which we're doing that right now and probably releasing it to the end of the year.
And so what was it about the first ones that were so good to you?
I seem to play better in the earlier years, so I'm hoping that that's why we'll do the early one. No, it was just the knack, everything about it was, through the years, different people come in throughout the factory, so just trying to capture the early ones, how they were made.
And also, how do
really exciting stuff.
Yeah. Is anybody asleep? I don't see any closed eyes out there.
No, they're good, they're good.
So how do you keep yourself, creatively, engaged? It's like, are you looking at young artists all the time? Do you pull in from your own muse constantly when you're writing your own stuff or developing your, melody lines? Has anything changed since the beginning of your career? Or?
I would hope that I've somehow grown, but I think it's a bit of arrested development. You kind of just, if you keep doing what you've been doing for so long, you kind of, in a good way, you stay there. I think it's somehow keep the hunger for it and keep it going, and you just, for me, it's always something that I have to do. I've never seen it any other way. Plus, I have no education and I can't do anything else. So, when you drop out of high school, be careful, because you have nothing to fall back on.
What can I say after that? Stay in school, kids.
Stay cool and stay in school. I used to sign that back then.
Well, what's the most exciting thing for you now in the guitar community? Any artists or any particular styles coming in, or what's kind of floating your boat about being part of this big world?
Being here with these people, man. Come on, man. That's what it's about. And they're all coming to the show tonight, I heard, too. Yeah, right. Yeah. But no, listen. I think it's always listening to new music, new artists, new bands, always being open to everything, and it's okay to be influenced by whatever you're listening to. So I think that's part of it. That's what it was like when we were starting. We obviously grew up on the stuff we grew up on, but it's kind of keeping your roots and also listening to young bands and new artists and new guitar players and being open to everything.
What do you think is the most critical element of maintaining, let's say, a creative career as a guitar player?
I would say hit the gym and a good diet. I think keeps you there, right? Yeah. No, I mean it's look. I don't know if there's any secret. It's really individual. You know, you got to love what you do. Basically, if you don't, nothing's gonna come of it. You have to love it, right?
Well, you seem like one of those guys where if you were making $500 a night to do this or $1 million, you'd still be doing the same thing you're doing, which is awesome.
That's what I'm getting paid tonight. Maybe 100, maybe 200.
Can we all chip in and help Nuno, survive the gig tonight?
Charity gig. We have a jar somewhere over there. No, man, I do stuff all the time as much as I can. Whenever there's a jam going on or anything happening, I'm always the first to go down and pour myself out for free because I love doing it. So.
Well, I think that's what's so great about your generation is that it really, you look at the record industry back then, you think it's very competitive, but a lot of your peers, I mean, they are those boys and girls that just want to play all the time, no matter what, which is it's crazy in this day and age, kind of.
Yeah, look, there is no doubt whether it was in the 60s or 70s or now, back in the 1900s or now, that if you don't do it for the love of it, you will not make a fucking dime anyways. So if you do it for the love of it, money will come, success will come if you work hard, but you have to love it to death, or else it ain't gonna happen for you. Nobody will buy into it. Nobody will believe you.
Well, he has to get to a sound check and a few other booths today, but let's clap. Thank you that he's sharing this time with all you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nuno.
Thanks a lot, man.